Hey guys, it's Maddie and welcome to my bathroom, the pool, the beach, and you can hear the fucking sirens. Okay, great. You're probably thinking to yourself, Maddie, reading the title of this video, why are we doing this in the fall? And that would be a great observation. Sit down and let me explain why. I think that the fall is the most perfect time to make this video because we are essentially as far out as we are possibly gonna get from the next swimsuit season, I guess. And I think it's a lot easier to talk about and sort of reflect on our experience with our bodies and bathing suits when there's not a pressure to all of a sudden tomorrow feel confident enough to wear the fucking bikini. We don't have to worry about it. We can just have a nice, casual conversation without there being this pressure to change ourselves and how we feel about ourselves in any way. You know, we're just starting to think about it. I have so much to fucking say as usual. I could probably talk about this exact topic on a loop for hours. So I just wanted to sort of sit with you guys in some of my favorite bathing suits and tell some stories and talk about how I became comfortable enough to be a big girl in a bikini, bitch. But before I really even get into the video, first of all, Mango is sitting right here trying to jump in this fucking bath. What the fuck am I doing, right? What is all this? Don't. She's gonna try to, don't. I see what you're doing. But second of all, I just want to take a minute to introduce the sponsor of today's video, which is cocokind. I worked with cocokind in the past. If you guys watch my body celebration morning routine, cocokind is, I will lock in and say it, my favorite skincare brand. You guys know I'm a skincare fanatic. I test out a million different skincare products. I love just being a little extra with my routine. But when you look at my routine, the products that I always go back to, the products that I use the most often, that I use the most of, those are always cocokind products. I've talked before about how my relationship with my body, though the journey and a lot of it be mostly mental, there is an aspect of like physical kindness and physical healing that has to happen. And for me, getting into skincare and body care has actually been like a really great tool for boosting my self-esteem and sort of strengthening my relationship with myself. So let me introduce to you 3 of my favorite cocokind products. For starters, we have the Body Duo, which I've definitely talked about before on this channel. I have gone through like 4 bottles of each of these now. So I've tried many a body product in my life. These 2 are my absolute favorite. The Scrubbing Clay is a body scrub that uses upcycled coffee grounds and prebiotic chicory. This scrub smells phenomenal, especially if you are a coffee lover. I had never used a body scrub that used coffee grounds before I used this scrub, and it has very quickly become my favorite type of physical exfoliant to use on my body. Similarly, this is the Sake body lotion, and I obviously, like lots of us, have tried many a body lotion in my time. First of all, this one has got to be the prettiest little thing to put on my bathroom sink. But also, I just love how gentle and creamy the texture of this lotion is. There's no scent to it, so I think it's great as like a sort of a daily body lotion. I do love a good scented body lotion every now and again, but it's more like with a purpose. I don't know if I want to smell so intensely because of my lotion on a daily basis. I also think that doing like an exfoliation lotion moment before an event or before you go to the beach, I think doing body care before an event like that can almost serve as like, I don't know, some sort of meditation to connect yourself with your body before putting yourself out there and pushing yourself to wear the fucking outfit, to wear the bathing suit, to like have a moment of connection and grounding in your body before going out and doing that, I think can just make the experience a lot easier. There is something about physically giving goodness back to your body that transfers over emotionally for me as well. And then obviously, if we're talking bathing suits, we've got to talk about SPF, baby. I burn so easily, it's not even funny. I also have rosacea, so I'm just like consistently red, just living my tomato fantasy. Okay, I think a lot of people skip out on sunscreen if they're not spending time in the sun or at the beach, but sunscreen should be the final step in your skincare routine every single morning, even if you're not doing anything extravagant, even if it's cloudy outside. Because those rays, baby, they don't care about the clouds. They also don't care about the windows in your house. They are coming through and they are damaging your skin over time, and you probably have no idea that it's happening. Now, this is a mineral sunscreen, which means that there is gonna be a little bit of a white cast, but I think as far as mineral sunscreens go, this one is not that bad. But obviously on deeper skin tones, it's gonna be more apparent than on my pasty ass. But it rubs in and applies super easily, and it has definitely been one of my go-to sunscreens over the last year. So anyways, in summary, I fucking love cocokind. I'm so happy to be working with them again, just because I really love not only their products, but their messaging as a brand. And I know that you guys are gonna love them too. So you can click the link in my description down below and use code Maddie Dragsbaek for 10% off your first order at cocokind. You guys are gonna fucking love their stuff. Go check these products out. Mwah. So growing up, I never wore a bikini. Okay, well, let's rewind. I wore a bikini when I was like young, like little, right? And then I had a traumatic experience at a summer camp when I was 7. First of all, can I just say that like any summer camp I ever attended that wasn't a theater camp left me with some like emotional scarring to work through as an adult. So anyways, this traumatic experience that I'm talking about, I was like 7 years old at a summer camp. It was like a sports recreation camp. First mistake. But we were all getting lined up to get on a bus and go to a nearby lake. Now, I don't think I had many friends at this camp besides my siblings, and they were too young to go to the beach. So they were staying home and I was just going to the lake. I called it a beach because it's called Sandy Beach, but make no mistake, it's a fucking lake. So I'm waiting in line to get on this bus, and one of the older kids in front of me, I think the oldest you could have been at that camp was like 6th grade, so he's probably like 10, 11 years old. One of the cool kids. He turns around and looks at me and starts, one, making fun of me because of my body. Not only that, but my bathing suit that I was wearing was a bikini that was pink and had like embroidery on it that was like sunken inwards, and it was the color of my skin. So to an 11-year-old boy, it's like, I can see through your bikini. Even if it's just embroidery, head empty, no thought. So anyways, this kid turned around to his other friends and was like, look, you can see through her bikini. And I just, oh God, this hurts to even recount, because we're in the line, right? And as he's like turning around to his friends, I'm hiding behind the person behind me, and I keep going back in line, like just trying to hide, as he and his friends are now just fully looking at me and making fun of my body. And yeah, so that's a memory that stuck with me for life. I am 24, damn near 25 years old, and I still remember this vividly, so that's awesome. And anyways, that was the last time I ever wore a bikini. I wore one pieces and tankinis for the rest of my life, and it does take a toll on you, doesn't it? It's hard because I think a lot of us growing up as kids, at the first sight of bullying in our bodies, the adults in our lives turned to covering us up as a solution, because obviously they can't stop the bullies, but what they can do is stop the reason for us being bullied, which I get sounds like a good idea to a lot of adults because they're just trying to protect you, right? And like there's no guidebook on how to be adult, but I think the problem there is when you are young and being bullied for your body, and as a response to that, the adults in your life basically tell you to cover up and hide your body to avoid being bullied. You learn one thing and one thing only from that interaction, and it is that other people's comfort when looking at your body is more important than your comfort in your own body. So, we're gonna have to unpack this as adults now. Isn't this bathing suit so cute? Whoever posted that hack on the internet saying to turn your bikini bottoms around so you have less coverage in the back and more in the front, you're a fucking genius, babe, and I love you for it. So my entire life, I always wore one pieces and tankinis because honestly, I thought that that was all that I was really allowed to wear. I, growing up, didn't even see wearing a bikini as a possibility for me. And it's painful to look back on and remember that time in my life because I look back at old photos and videos expecting to understand why I felt that way, and it's just like I see a kid and it just hurts. You know, it's like you look back at old pictures of yourself because you understand the feeling now in your adult body, understanding what it feels like to look outside of the beauty standard body, and you expect to maybe look back at old pictures when you know you felt worse than you do now, thinking that you're gonna relate to that person, and then that person is a fucking child in those photos, and it just hurts. It's just painful. I don't know how to describe it other than that. I was a child, and I should have been wearing bikinis and going to the pool party and being more concerned about doing the coolest jump into the pool, not what my body looked like in a fucking bathing suit. Fast forward to the end of high school, I ended up buying my very first bikini when I was 17, like about to turn 18 in a week, so basically, let's call it 18. I was still incredibly uncomfortable with myself and my body, but I had made the initial realization of like, you don't deserve this. I have always been the type of person that's like, even if I feel like shit about myself, if you want me to feel like shit about myself, I will, against all odds, be like, fuck you, just kidding. I'm the best. I love myself. Just to spite you, because I don't want fucking anyone to be right about me. I don't want fucking anyone to have more of a say over who I am and what my life is than me. So even when I was a teenager at like the beginning stages of my body image journey, if I knew that people wanted me to hate myself, if I knew that that's what people expected of me, I would do everything in my power to prove them wrong. You think you can tell me how my life is gonna be? How I'm gonna feel about my body? Fucking check yourself, bitch. So I bought the bikini. I wore it on a family vacation that spring and then performed in it for my final senior performance when I did a poem about my body image on stage in front of people. And that's like where it fucking began for me. I think that buying that first bikini was probably like the first actionable thing I ever did to start repairing my body image journey. That feels crazy, like buying a bikini could have that much of an impact, but it feels like before that I was writing poetry, I was trying to unpack it mentally, but buying a bikini was the first move that I made, the first action that I took that other people really got to see. But that was when I was 18, right? And I've said before that I don't really feel like I truly got comfortable in my body until last summer 2020. That, when I look back at summer 2020, that feels like fucking night and day. Me before summer 2020 and me after summer 2020 are two totally different fucking people. All right, so we're doing a little bit of jumping around here. You guys are probably like, what the fuck, Maddie? That's 5 years of your life. What happened between 2015, when you bought your first bikini, to 2020? The reason why I'm skipping over those 5 years is because you all know what happened during those 5 years. There were hard moments where I really didn't feel comfortable wearing bikinis. There was lots of tears. There were lots of high moments. You can't like skip through healing. You just sort of have to live through it. There's no other way around it. So in between 2015 and 2020, it was that. I was healing. I was learning to love my body and to feel comfortable in my body on a day-to-day basis. The thing is that there's never going to be an easy answer or like a one-off, this is how you start feeling good in your body. There's nothing you can do besides show up for yourself and be gentle with yourself and do the internal healing. And that takes time. That takes many a year. I will be healing for the rest of my life forever. But I think that the work that I did through 2015 to 2020, the experiences, the life that I lived, brought me to where I was summer 2020. Buying a string bikini felt like something that I would never do, right? Because feeling comfortable enough to wear a high-waisted bikini was one thing. That was like one step towards my relationship with my stomach and getting more comfortable embracing who I am right now in this moment. But wearing a string bikini, wearing something that totally shows off my stomach in a way that is unavoidable, that's something that I just never saw myself doing or feeling comfortable with. At the beginning of last summer, I had an experience that is not uncommon at all. It's something that I've experienced many times throughout my life, but for whatever reason, this time just fucking hit me differently. And I broke. I like hit a fucking wall. I had a massive breaking point. So the story was that I was on a trip to a friend's beach house, and someone on that trip asked me if I could take their photo. And of course, a bitch says yes. I love a good photo shoot. I'm great at taking photos of people. I am always thrilled when people ask me to take their photo. And as I'm taking the photos, this person looks at me and is like, do I look fat? Make sure I don't look fat enough. Now, it is painful every single time it happens. It has been painful every single time it has happened throughout my entire life. But for whatever reason, this one hit differently. There's something about like being looked at as a person who is clearly fat, who is visibly big. I cannot hide this part of myself, right? You see it, I see it, we both see it. To look at me in my fucking face and say, make sure I don't look fat, AKA, make sure I don't look like you. What the fuck do you want me to say to that?
I think a lot of the time when fat people talk about how hurtful this way of speaking is, there's some people that get a little defensive because they recognize that behavior within themselves and they start to say things like, oh, so I just can't talk about my insecurities now. So I just wanted to make a point to say that it is actually very, very easy to talk about your insecurities without being fat phobic. For example, in the situation that I was in when I was taking someone's photo, they could have said, hey, honestly, I feel super uncomfortable on camera and I don't really know what to do with my body. I'm just not that confident. Can you give me some help with posing, or can you just tell me what you think looks good and sort of guide me a little bit? Let me know that they're a little uncomfortable and insecure and they need to be hyped up a little bit, and I could have shown up for them without being torn down in the process. It's really easy. And by the way, saying things like, oh, please make sure I don't look fat in this photo, do I look fat in this photo? That's not really talking about your insecurities. Talking about your insecurities would be actually acknowledging them and breaking them down, rather than just incorporating that kind of language and speak into your life as if it's normal. Talking about your insecurities would be saying to your friends, guys, I'm just really having a bad body image day. It's being honest about it. It's not disguising that way of thinking as being the norm when it shouldn't be. And I think the thing is that when we talk about fat phobia, a lot of people get defensive about it because they recognize it in themselves and they're, sitting there thinking, well, shit, I've been fat phobic before. And it's hard to take accountability for those sorts of things, so people try to justify it. But there's no justification for speaking like that, and we can all do better. And something that I really like to drive home to people when we talk about fat phobia is that this isn't a matter of you're a good person versus you're a bad person. We've all been raised in a society that literally gives little gifts of fat phobia to everyone. We all have internalized fat phobia to work through. And the important part is that you are doing your part in acknowledging what your internalized fat phobia looks like and breaking that down. Because not only is that going to help yourself and your own insecurities, but it's also just the right thing to do for the fat people in your life, around your life, in fucking general. It's just what has to be done, right? And it's not I'm a good person versus I'm a bad person. It's just I'm a person who has grown up in the world and I have to do my part in the collective healing. Does that make sense? There are ways to talk about your insecurities without being fat phobic, and there's just really no excuse for it. Do the work, do better.
I was so tired of people never thinking about their words before they say them. I was tired of people not being courteous to me in the ways that I'm courteous to them. I was tired of being the person who was always hyping people up and complimenting people on their bodies and trying to cultivate confidence in other people, but then feeling like everyone else just felt like they could say whatever the fuck they wanted in front of me, as if I'm not a person who hurts. It's a shitty feeling. Feeling like even as you get better on your own, emotionally, mentally, even as I got to a place where I felt more comfortable with my body for the rest of my life, I was gonna have to listen to other people talking like that, talking about my body type in a way that's disrespectful. It felt so hopeless in that moment of like, I can do all the work, I can do all the healing, but if no collective healing is happening, then I will keep being dragged into this fuck shit for the rest of my life. As you can probably assume, my brain did what my brain usually does, and I started to get motivated by spite again. I'm tired of people being so scared to look like me. And I'm tired of hiding what I look like because I'm fucking sexy. And it's just an indisputable fact. Science will show that I am sexy. If everyone is gonna feel fucking afraid to look like me, if looking like me is the worst thing that someone can be, then let's take up some fucking space, baby. I'm the scariest bitch on the fucking block. You're scared to look like me? Bitch, I hate to break it to you, you're living in a goddamn horror movie because I will not stop posting my body on Instagram. I'm not gonna spend the rest of my life hating my body, shoving my body into clothes that are easier for people to digest. I'm not gonna wear a high-waisted bikini for the rest of my life. I'm gonna wear a high-waisted bikini this day. I'm gonna wear a one-piece this day. I'm gonna wear a string bikini the next day. Because versatility, baby, I can wear whatever the fuck I want. Here we are, baby, looking sexy as ever. You could not stop me if you fucking tried. I always used to worry, and this is kind of a dark thought, that letting other people see me was gonna ruin their day. I had these dreams of like mothers shielding their kids' eyes or scoffing at me and giving me dirty looks because it really just feels like the world doesn't want fat people to feel good. And feeling good in your fatness, wearing a bikini, showing off like this is what my body looks like, it ends up feeling like rebellion because you know that not everyone is going to be kind. Like even this fucking summer that happened to me, I was at an amusement park with my family and I was wearing the red bathing suit that I wore at the beginning as like a top. There was a woman in line for the same ride as us who was really bothered by me. She kept looking at me and giving me dirty looks, and then when I walked past her in the queue, she mutters under her breath to her husband, literally so disgusting. And I was like, whoa. She's lucky that it caught me off guard because if I was ready, I would have swung. I get off the ride and I say to my mom, like, did you notice that woman who called me disgusting? And my mom was like, I heard that. I didn't realize it was to you though. And I was like, yeah, she's looking at me. She's talking about me. I was watching her give me dirty looks. My mom was like, if I knew it was about you, I would have fought. I was like, thanks, Mom. You know, that was literally one of my fears for the longest time. I felt like I was like inconveniencing people by wearing a bathing suit, by letting my body just be out in the world. I felt like I was ruining people's days, which is fucked up to think like that. And it's like, not only are plus size bodies disrespected, but they're also hypersexualized. So there's like a twofer going on there. Oh my God. And I think the worry that I was inconveniencing people by literally existing was just, it was so hard to suppress because it's rooted in something real. And it's the fact that people are going to be unkind to you if you live life in a bigger body. It sucks, but I'm not gonna lie to you and say that everyone's gonna be fucking nice to you, because they're not. There are shitty people out there. But the thing is, I can't protect myself from what other people are gonna say about me or how other people are gonna react to me. I can't control other people and their shitty behavior. And by trying to, I am actively forcing myself to be hidden, just like they want me to be. I deserve to take up space. I deserve to let my body be seen. I deserve to pull up to the beach, to pull up to the pool party, wearing whatever the fuck I want and not have to worry about what other people have to say about it. So I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm not gonna hide myself to make you comfortable. So you've got two options here. You can A, get used to it, or B, leave the fucking beach, because I'm not going anywhere. Honest to God, if the worst fucking thing that can ever happen to you is that you would become fat and look like me, you are living a blessed life, mama. In conclusion, you deserve to wear the fucking bikini. You deserve to take up space. to wear whatever the fuck it is that you want. And I'm so sorry that anyone ever made you feel anything otherwise. If no one's told you yet, they fucking lied. You look incredible in that goddamn bikini.